I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. What do y'all got on the cookout? Put it in the chat. I need to know who brought what, baby. And please, whoever is at the bar, give me my mojito right now, because this was a deep episode. Lovemere Huntsville, I don't even know if we've ever gotten this deep. This is one of the deepest episodes I think I've ever seen on this show. Woo! Oh my God. But come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking it out with me right now. Y'all see it in the thumbnail. Was it a lot? I'm going to need mezcal. Okay, a blackberry mojito with mezcal. Please and thank you. A little mint and a little splash of some sort of soda. Okay. It was one of the best episodes. I agree with you 1,000,000%. And listen, my cousin Dyrese child, lemon drops used to be my favorite. Okay, right before this mojito, I go back and forth. My sister got the cheesecake. You guys, this is my real sister. Clone in the house is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy. What's up? What's up? I see the baked macaroni is here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else? Who else got something? I saw the greens was here. Somebody better make some dressing and some stuffing. Okay, hold on, child. I see the collard greens are here. And look, somebody said, don't get it confused with that damn box stuffing. The dressing, okay? The good old cornbread dressing is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Michi. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, y'all, we got a lot to talk about, baby. We got food, we got drink. Okay, and we are going to get into this story that came on over here. You said you love my commentary. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in and supporting. I appreciate the yams is in the house. Everything is on the picnic tables, okay? Everything's on the picnic tables. Y'all help yourselves, okay? Mi casa, su casa, I don't care. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to unravel. I know that lots of people have been discussing this. I have stayed away from everybody's commentary because I wanted to share from my perspective only. Okay. We all got different opinions. You came over here to hear mine. Period. Okay. You said you can't cook, so you got the paper plates. That's what my mama used to bring, baby. I got the soda, the paper plates, the utensils. Listen, this is what family's all about. Know your strengths. Know your strengths is what we do over here, okay? You said you feel a way about the mama. Well, let's talk about it, okay? Because, whoo, listen, a lot of people have been, not given, they have some feelings about Destiny's mom. And I'm hoping that I can share some different things, you know what I'm saying? Because what her mother sees is her daughter on TV, right? And y'all know how people love to go up and down these YouTube streets and everything else and say, Destiny's broke. Destiny need to give her son away to the like some of the shit, you know what I'm saying? Now that we get to see these, Destiny used to speak in she used to have very fragmented thoughts and conversations about herself. But you got a mama at home who's watching her daughter on TV and thinking she's loaded. She's rich. She got money. She's in Huntsville taking care of a man I can't fucking stand. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that you're taking care of him and you're not taking care of me. There's a lot that's going on here. Anyway, I told y'all before I used to work at a drug rehab. I didn't do counseling. I did accounting, but there was a lady by the name of Sada. Sada was a counselor, and she used to be a Black Panther, and I just loved her. I loved her. She was like a mom to me, but she also used to be in the streets when the rock epidemic happened. And so when I met her, she was cleaned up and she was a Muslim and she came in her garb every day. And we would talk and she would just tell me all kinds of stuff about how her mind was gone. And that was the first time that mothers didn't hear their children cry because of that particular drug. And I also told y'all that at the rehab I worked, we did not get funding for that particular drug. You could get it for everything except for that, because the government, y'all should know this by now, is the one who put that shit in our community. It's all laid out there. The FBI released the files about how Ronald Reagan was letting it come in on a plane and getting it dumped in certain communities. But listen, we get real mad at the people who got caught up in the addiction, but you got to look at the full picture sometimes and have some compassion. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't get there by themselves, but everything stops growing. They're like a soul trapped inside of a body. You know what I mean? And I have to say, Snowfall broke it down. Snowfall broke it down. I didn't get a chance to see all of Snowfall, but I did work and I did research and I did have people talk to me. And it helps, because sometimes you be out here thinking you know everything, okay, like Precious, and you want to, why don't they just, you know what I'm saying? And you don't understand that there's a whole system that's against it, against them, against everything. You're supposed to die, and that's it. And so it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay. But anyway, I'm getting too far ahead. Anyway, if y'all like my lippy, if you like my lipstick, here it is. Y'all should see a little shopping icon either on the screen, or if you're on your computer, because I understand sometimes it doesn't pop up, but it'll pop up every once in a while on the screen. And this is the lip bar, okay? And I have on two colors. I think it's Prima Donna, and I forgot the other one, child. But anyway, just click it. Just click it, you'll see it. It'll come up. It's a beautiful color. It's matte and it stays on all day, no matter what, even if you're eating and drinking, okay? So I stand by it. You said your mom acts just like Rhonda Joe minus the... But she thinks that I owe her everything just because she's my mom. But she didn't raise me or show any interest or support in me when I wasn't with her. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. I'm really sorry to hear that. But yeah, what Destiny's mom is experiencing, I know that, again, we can sometimes lock it into a specific thing like, oh, it's the drugs or whatever. But there's a lot of people who have that type of, mentality. And there's a lot of people that's sick that have that mentality. Like, they could have cancer or anything. But at the end of the day, if they wake up in the morning, they want to live just like you live. They want sun to touch their skin, wind to, blow through their hair, all the things. You know what I'm saying? And again, like Destiny, Rhonda's sister, Destiny's auntie. Oh my God, that like touched my soul to see her just smile at her sister, like to let her know it's okay. And to also let her children know, like, I'm sitting here beside her and she's just smiling her and encouraging her just to get it out. Say what you got to say. Like, oh, there was so much in this. There was so much in this episode. There's so much in this episode. So let's hit it. Okay. So it opens where it left off with Ken and Trish. Take the poll at the top of the chat about Marceau. About Marceau and Marceau's daddy. Okay, we're gonna do the crown of the clown. I forgot to tell y'all that. But anyway, come in, hit the like button, share the video, and all the things. It opens up with Trisha and Ken. Child, they picked up exactly where they left off in Dr. Francis' office. Dr. Francis should have called somebody a damn Uber. I don't know who came together, but those two shouldn't have left out of there together, because there was way too much going on. But anyway, Trisha is insisting that Ken called her at the gym and then asked her, who in the hell you got at the gym with you squeaking in the bed or some shit like that, right? And Ken said, that's insane. Like, I don't even know why you would make something up like that. Why would I say, when is a bed at the gym? Like, he's losing it, right? And then you hear Trisha say, you were asleep And then you woke up out of your sleep. And I'm really hoping that production just edited that scene in an awkward way, because how did you get from him calling you at the gym and accusing you to him being asleep and then waking up out his sleep and saying it? That's two different things. I don't know what was going on. I'm going to say bad edit because it just looked funky, but even that was making her look like a damn liar. Okay, come on in, hit the like button, share the video. Okay. Anyway, Ken said, listen, when there's an opportunity for you to throw my ass under the bus, you never miss the opportunity. You understand? You take it every time. But when it comes time to defend me, you won't do it. So at this point, these are the breaks. When you are in this part of a relationship, I don't care if you're telling it to a therapist or your best friend or your mama, anybody listening, just like Dr. Francis, because he was standing in the middle going like this, like it was a tennis match. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth, looking like, what the that y'all got going on over here, right? But he had that normal smile on his face. Y'all know how Dr. Francis do. Anyway, Trisha said, we both have anger issues. And Ken says in his confessional, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. I lie, just like Trisha lie. But the difference between what I do and what Trisha does is she will take the smallest, minutest bullshit, things that don't even matter for real, and build this fucking story around it and make it so incredible of a lie that I'm like, well, what if something really happens? Like the way I have to break you down for this small bull ass, you know what I'm saying? This crap that has nothing to do with anything you'll lie about. So what happens when there's something huge? You know what I'm saying? Where do I stand? I don't know. I can't trust you. I don't know what to believe anymore. That's not a lie. That's not a lie. Anyway, Dr. Francis said, let's stop talking about what the two of y'all hate about each other, okay? Because clearly there's plenty that y'all don't like about each other. So let's stop talking about that and let's talk about what you love about each other. Now, Dr. Francis, you know damn well you should have said, let's just end this. Ken, why don't you sit back? I don't know who drove, but whoever drove, you go on ahead and I'm going to give you 50 feet and then we're going to let whoever else leave in an Uber, because that's what I would have done. But anyway, Dr. Francis said, y'all said enough about what you hate. So why don't you tell me what you love? Okay, we're going to start with you, Trisha. And Trisha said, I just want to get back to the fun times. You know, when we used to have fun, because we used to have a lot of fun together, and I love you, and the kids love you, and we all just used to have a lot of fun, right? And Ken's like, yeah, we did used to have fun, right? But Ken just looks so dismayed. He don't even look like he wants to be there anymore. Ken doesn't even look like he wants to be there anymore. But he says, I do love Trisha. But you can see the wheels spinning. Trisha's trying to make things lighter. But Ken's like, I don't know. This shit really is heavy for me now. And then he says some stuff like, and we effing up them kids. I mean, let's face it. Not only is things heavy for us, but we are effing up them kids, okay? Dr. Francis says some things like, listen, whatever your kids can't get at home, they're going to look for in them streets. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a mama you think you are, or a father figure, or whatever the case may be, a father. If you don't give your kids the proper foundation, they're going to look for everything they're missing in the streets. It will be your fault, okay? You don't know what that's going to look like in the end. So get your shit together. Anyway, Trisha said that her daughter, that the arguments that her and Ken are having right now is affecting their kids, or her kids, my bad. And that her daughter in particular is like, I can't stand this shit no more. I'm tired. It's wearing on my nerves, okay? And her son is saying things like, I think you two can get back, get it back to where it was. So she's like, the son is very supportive, whereas the daughter's like, I wish I would just end the shit, right? And that's basically how it ends. They cut the scene with us realizing that Ken and Trisha are a lot worse off than what we thought. Okay, so hey everyone, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the cookout. Okay, go on ahead and grab yourself something off the table. Mi casa, su casa. Everybody done brought something good, and get yourself a drink too. What did you say, Cloner? Clone said, I think that's a syndrome. I've heard of people that inflate and manipulate situations. Trisha may have a syndrome. I've never heard of that. Tell me more. I've never heard of that. I don't think that Ken wants to give up his spot on TV. He's over her. I don't think Ken wants to give up his spot, but he's over her. We'll see, girl. I mean, he is done. They're not together. If you're paying attention to them on social media, not only are they not together, he's putting his bait out for another fish. Okay, he trying to wheel in somebody else. Trisha and him are donezo. Anyway, let's talk about Destiny. Back to Destiny, girl. So, like I said to you guys, Destiny has always presented a very fragmented picture of herself, which used to drive me batty. I hated talking about Destiny because I didn't always know what she was talking about. Everything seemed so disjointed. But I did go back and watch an old episode, season 3, episode 11, I believe, where she sits with Tiffany at the bar. Her and Tiffany have been back and forth and into it. And Tiffany comes in to apologize to Destiny for making her feel bad about, saying that she saw LeBerick with another woman and some other shit, right? And then Destiny tells her a little bit about her growing up. And she says these words. She said, I had a mother who was drug addicted. And so she used the word had in past tense. And I think that a lot of us heard that and thought that her mother was not there anymore. But she does correct herself in the scene, because I said, when I was sitting at home, I was like, let me just go back, because I know that's one of the things that everybody's questioning. Is Destiny's mom, did she tell us she was, alive? She said had, and then she says has. So she does correct it. Okay. So just so we start from there so that we're all on the same page. She said her brother passed away in the streets, whatever. She had a conversation with LB about not wanting to change her name, her last name, because that was the one thing that kept her connected to the brother that she was separated from when she was 5 years old. Right. So I understand it. There's a lot of things that she was carrying. And even though she wasn't able to share that story the way she did in this episode, and with the help of her sisters and brothers, because I don't think that, and the whole family, let me give everybody their credit, because I don't think that she could have carried that story by herself. I think that all of her family being there helped her get that conversation out. And in a way that was, like I said before, a straight line. Destiny is talking in a straight line. She's not giving us fragmented pieces of herself. Even though this isn't her whole story. I know there's more. But for the first time, we got the big picture. And now that it has been said out loud, people won't be able to use that shit against her, because people who said they loved her or was her friends, whatever the case may be, they have manipulated her in a way where they thought she was never going to share her story on this platform in the way that she has. So I just want to get that out there. So she said had, and then she said has. She corrected herself while speaking, but I don't think, you watch it that one time through, you may not connect to it. Anyway, Destiny is waking up in the hotel room, and her sister Paula, who she also calls PJ, is there. And Paula, and that's not her in the picture, that's Misha. Paula is stunning. Okay, has a little dimple in the cheek, high cheekbones, eyes shaped like almonds, beautiful face. And we find out that Paula is the one that looks most like her mother, if not a dead ringer for her mother when her mother was younger and, healthy. You know what I'm saying? But Paula is sitting there. She's so soft-spoken. And literally when the camera comes in, it just lights up. Everything lights up. Now you can see Paula and Destiny. You can see that they look kind of alike too. But Destiny looks more like her father, Donnie, than she does her mother. Paula is a beautiful shade of chocolate, okay? And I mean, and she's Destiny's younger sister, but she's stunning. She's stunning, okay? And she didn't even have makeup on, baby. When she puts her makeup on, okay, and had her hair done, I'm pretty sure she is a knock the out, but she was a knockout without it, okay? But yes, so Destiny's in the room. She's, brushing her teeth or whatever. And she comes out and sees her sister Paula sitting on the couch. And Paula's just, happy. You know what I'm saying? Just happy to be there. She wants her older sister to be okay. Destiny sits down. Paula gives her a blanket, like, let me take care of you. And they end up talking about what they planned on doing for the day, right? Because they're going to go see the rest of Destiny's family, or even Paula's family. So I apologize if I don't say this correctly. But Paula, for the first time, will be meeting Destiny, or the grandmother, the matriarch of the family. I think she said her name was Sears. So she's going to be meeting her grandmother for the first time, Mrs. Sears, who is also Rhonda's mother, as well as all of the family at once. And I don't know if anybody's ever had this experience. Me and my sister had this experience when my father passed away. And a lot of stuff that happened in that scene reminded me of something that happened to me. And I don't want to make this about me. But I'm just saying I understood it a little better. Anyway, she's excited to see her grandmother and her aunties and her brothers and sisters for the first time, because she hasn't met everybody, right? She's here with Destiny, and from what I'm understanding, Destiny and Paula are one of the two that are the closest in this this womb group that they have together, and so close, in fact, that Paula has already been to Huntsville to meet with Destiny before. This is something that I heard in an interview. She's already met with Destiny and also met with the Scotts. So when the Scotts end up coming into the room and they see Paula, one of the reasons why they weren't, oh, wow, hey, Paula, is because they had already met her before previously. Okay. Just so you guys have an understanding of that. But they're talking about what's going to happen in the day. And Destiny's like, for a long time, our grandmother used to get on Facebook and post pictures of you and all of the 6 other children that she didn't have a chance to, meet up with. And I think there was some people that were adopted in the family. So maybe not all 6, but there were some kids that got adopted by family members, and then some who went into foster care and got adopted by other parents. But she said for those that got adopted by other parents, she used to post their photos on Facebook with her full name and full phone number, and said, baby, if y'all know these kids, or if y'all, pass my information along to them so that they come meet me. I want to see my grandbabies. And that was a connection that happened every year. Every year she would do this. I don't know how many times a year, but she would do it all the time, because she had a hole in her heart for the kids that she didn't have a connection with. That was real, real touching. But Destiny is sharing this information with Paula, Miss PJ, okay, her younger half sister. Anyway, the Scotts end up knocking on the door. Tisha and Kimmy end up knocking on the door and visiting their room, and they chit chat a little bit about, what they had planned for the day. What are you guys going to do? Are you going to see, the folks and all that stuff? And Destiny says yes, that it's going to be a very emotional day for her, and that, her, especially for Paula. And right now, her Destiny's concern is making sure all of these siblings that she's bringing into the fold to meet these people they haven't met before, that she's taking care of them. She said, right now, I got to be the older sister. I also have to deal with the fact that, I got this emotional baggage on me with my mama, right? Tisha asked Destiny if she needed her and Kimmy to tag along with her. And Destiny said, no, not for this one. Maybe later in the day, if we do something else, I'll bring you 2 in. But for this, we need to do this on our own, which was tough. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if people were paying attention, but Destiny just seemed real different in this scene than she has in the past. And I've been telling y'all this for a minute anyway, that Destiny just feels a little different emotionally. She said she's going to therapy. She's continuing therapy, and you can definitely see it. You can definitely see it. Okay. Anyway, in social media, or excuse me, in confessional, Destiny said, listen, this whole thing with the Scots wanting to be, there for me and supportive, I appreciate it. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I have to take care of my own mental, and I don't have time for other bullshit, basically. So I don't want the Scots coming in and, this becoming a scene about me and them. It has to be about me and my family. Bravo. Bravo. Okay. So anyway, the Scotts are also in Detroit. Y'all have figured this out, but they're about to head over to Potomac, Michigan and leave Destiny behind. And the Scotts right now, Scott 1 and 2.0, they're in their hotel rooms and they're catching Marceau and Maurice up on Destiny and what she had going on later in the day. And Marceau, Tisha actually says, well, we might actually meet up with Destiny later. We don't know, blah, 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 if she gives us a call. And Marceau, even though we like to act like Marceau don't have good common sense a lot of the time, Marceau is usually the only one with good common sense. And he looks at Tisha like, Tisha, why would you put yourself in a situation to meet up with Destiny's people when Destiny is just meeting up with her people, right? He said, if it was me, I would be too afraid about what I was going to experience, let alone bring other people into it. Maybe you should sit this one out, is what he was trying to say, right? Which was pretty, did I say it wrong? Pontiac. My bad. Thank you for correcting me. Pontiac, Michigan. Okay, I think I might have said Potomac. Y'all know sometimes you get the words wrong, child. Anyway, Marceau is the one who, kind of checks Tisha and Kimmy for the most part and said, maybe y'all should sit y'all asses out for this one. Let Destiny do what she's supposed to do. And y'all go on ahead and meet up with our family. Okay, we got family here. We can do our own thing. And Tisha said, I hear what you're saying. And I didn't think about it like that. But despite the fact me and Destiny have been going through some stuff, I still want to be there for her. I'm her friend. I know she got some shit going on. I want to be there for her. And then Kimmy said, well, I was somebody who needed friends when I was going through my cancer journey. And I know that people didn't know who to be to me. You know what I'm saying? Do I visit? Do I call? Whatever the things may be. And she said, at the end of the day, my friends is what helped me get through the journey. So showing up for me when maybe I didn't even want you to be there and you just showed up, that meant a lot to me in the end. So I understand Tisha's point of view, and I also want to be there for Destiny, right? But either way, they ended up getting in a car to go to Pontiac. Okay, my bad. Pontiac, Michigan. They ended up going to Pontiac, Michigan, and that's how it ended. Okay, let's see. Anyway, now we are back to Destiny, and Destiny is with her sister. They're in the car, they're driving, and everybody's texting everybody like we're on our way, you know what I'm saying? And her sister, Paula, PJ, she's like, well, now I'm worried about my little brother. Like, I feel like I got to take care of him. And her and Destiny are having a moment where they're talking about how they understand everybody's a big ball of feelings and they want everything to go smooth. And Destiny is actually fearful to share this side of her family on TV. You can tell she's nervous. She's barely talking. So where people would normally be like, girl, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Destiny is sitting there and you can just tell that she's fucking nervous. And you can also tell that Paul is trying to compensate for Destiny being nervous. So they're just having like little small talk, but they finally pull up to this space. You can tell they rented out a hall or something so that they can all meet here. And there's a lot of them. There's probably like 50 something people in this event space. And they have a table where Destiny's grandmother is sitting right in the center. So when Destiny walks in the door, that's the first face that you see. And then the auntie, the sister, Rhonda's sister, which is Destiny's mother, they're all sitting beside her. So everybody's sitting in this space. And it's real shocking. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of shocking to the system. I don't know how to explain it other than there wasn't a lot of words spoken. It was just emotion. But when Destiny walks in, she's like, oh my God, hey. And the grandmother freezes, like she almost was holding her breath just to see that other grandchild walk through the door. And when she saw her and she saw how close that daughter, that her granddaughter looked just like her daughter, because everybody's like, whoa, you're Rhonda. You know what I'm saying? You're Rhonda. But when she comes in the door, everybody's hugging Destiny. Rhonda's kind of sitting there, standing, and then someone comes over and grabs her and said, Rhonda, let's go. I mean, excuse me, not Rhonda, Paula, and start hugging Paula. And then everybody just hugs everybody. It was so sweet. It was a real beautiful moment. And then the grandmother loses, you know, she can't speak. She starts dabbing her eyes and crying. Destiny came over. Destiny came over and ended up, you know, hugging her and said, are you happy? And she's like, yeah, I'm happy. Like she can't get words out of her mouth. That's how happy she is. But she finally says to her newfound granddaughter, Paula, she said, you look just like your sister. Can you see that you look just like your sister? And she's referring to another sister that's in the house. Her name is Misha, I believe. And there was also two sons of Rhonda's. One was named Alan and one was named Jesse. They're also there. Okay, so you see all of their faces. They all look alike in a way, you know what I'm saying? But it was just real pretty. It was a beautiful family. They looked amazing. And they're just all trying to make everybody feel good, right? They're just trying to make everybody feel good. Anyway, the auntie, which would be Rhonda's sister, the auntie starts talking about how beautiful Rhonda was when they were younger, right? She said, my big sister was so beautiful. She was the most beautiful woman I ever saw, right? She was like, she was tall, baby. And she used to get out of limousines with top hats and mini skirt suits on. Okay. Her suit with the little mini skirt on, and men from all over was coming over with tongues wagging to see this woman. And she would be at the club or at the bar singing. Very talented, clearly. We'll get to that a little later. Yes, and she's 6 foot tall. She is 6 foot tall, according to Destiny. That's what she said. But yeah, 6 foot tall, beautiful Black woman who, you know, owned things, okay? Knew she was a damn knockout, was a part of motorcycle clubs, had all types of interests and things that she loved and she was involved in. And they're just sitting there taking it in particular, Destiny, she's dabbing her eyes because the mama she know ain't that, right? And so she's listening to them reminisce and tell stories about this mother that she never got a chance to know for real, because her life was very young when she was taken away from her. And what she does remember is a woman who was gone, okay? Was gone off that stuff. But anyway, they're trying to give the children memories of their mother, trying to give the children memories of the mother. And Destiny ends up saying, our experiences with Rhonda is never going to be what you guys remember, because we just didn't have that with her. But it's wonderful to hear about it. And then Destiny also shares that Paula has decided to meet her mama for the first time. And she said, Destiny said, well, she was very adamant about not coming, and now you're going to come. And Paula's like, yeah, this is shocking, right? Because again, everybody's saying that's your twin, right? And you've never met her before. And she's the one who feels the safest with Destiny. She's the one who's traveled to Huntsville to meet her sister. And she said, Destiny's already said they're the closest. And now this woman is going to go meet her mother for the first time on camera. Okay. And Destiny looks over at Jesse and said, well, Paula's coming. Do you want to go too? Because Misha and Alan have already decided to go. And I also think that Misha and Alan have met her before. So Destiny asked Jesse if he wants to go too. And he said, no, not for me. Not for me. He said, I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason to go see her. It's just not an interest in me. And you can see that broke Destiny, the sister, Rhonda's sister. You can see that kind of, it hits hard when you hear that, because everybody's everybody's idea of her, everybody's feelings for her is different. Everybody feels for her differently. The mother, the grandmother feels like that's my baby no matter what, right? That's still my baby. The sister feels like that's still my sister. And then you hear the child say, I have no desire to see her. I have no desire to meet her. And you still have to respect them in that space. And Destiny says that. She said, listen, we still got to respect it. You got to respect it no matter what. He's just not there. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. I see your compliments. I appreciate y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Please hit the like button and share the video. We are talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville. This was a deep episode, and I would say probably one of the deepest we've ever had on this show, in the way that it was shared to us in real time. And I think that the production team did an amazing job of giving dignity to Rhonda. I really do. I think they gave her a lot of dignity. There's a lot of ways they could have filmed that scene, and they didn't do that. And I really respected that. Anyway, after he says, I'm not going, there's no point. That's how the scene ends. And then we get the Scotts. The Scotts are driving through the Potomac neighborhoods. And Maurice and Marceau are just, reminiscing, trying to catch the ladies up. Oh, wow, we used to do that over there. And, oh, this is where this was. That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then they end up meeting with Uncle Rick. Uncle Rick is Daddy Scott's brother, okay? He's a handsome-looking older man. And as soon as Uncle Rick saw Maurice's chunky ass, he came over me. He said, you don't miss a meal, do you, boy? He told Maurice, there's never a meal you haven't missed. Okay? What is going on? And then Maurice was like, no, I like to eat. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And then he looks at Kimmy and said, you still with this joker? Which, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, maybe Uncle Rick knows a little something. It might have been a joke, but when he called Maurice out and said, damn it, boy, you huge. You're huge. He didn't say that to Marceau because Marceau lost some weight, okay? You said Kimmy cooking and rolling over. Child. Kimmy was just sitting in the back like, ooh, I don't know if we should laugh or not. Going ahead and laugh and get that man on the treadmill, because I told y'all, he said that. I told y'all that Maurice was chunky. Them suit jackets always be busting open in the middle, in the back. That's a no. Get yourself together, sir. Anyway, he told him that he don't miss no meals. Maurice agreed. He tells Kimmy, you still with this joker? Because you shouldn't be. Kimmy gets hit in the head a couple of times in this episode. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Kimmy asked for the answers. I'm sure she prayed on it, and God did talk to you in this episode, Kimmy. We gonna get to it. But anyway, Marceau's twin, Daddy Scott, because Marceau looks most like his father. Anyway, Daddy Scott and Uncle Rick, they got some bad blood between them, okay? Daddy Scott was in the scene, but he looked like he wanted to, roll around on the floor with Uncle Rick for a little bit, pop him in the head a couple of times. You could tell. Anyway, Uncle Rick was talking about this school that he's running for basically disenfranchised men and women in the community, Black people in particular, who might want to learn a skill or two. He said, I can show you how to build a house in 30 days. And he's giving back, and he said this is what he wants to do for people. I have a friend whose father used to do something similar to that, teach people how to build houses in 30 days. So he would bring young men who were, in the streets and doing crazy shit. He said, let me show you how to do something that's going to feed your family forever. And I was real impressed with how Uncle Rick said that this is what he was doing to give back to the community. It was real cool. You know what I'm saying? You'll have to watch the scene if you didn't see it. But he said that's what he does. Now, while he's explaining it, because this is his chance to promote his business on the show and get people interested, Marceau's twin, Daddy Scott, was rolling his eyes, sucking his teeth, giving faces like this mother here. the entire time. And everybody caught it. We was like, what is happening? Why is he looking at this man like he cannot stand him? And Kimmy was like, I don't know what's going on with Daddy Scott. He's usually more involved and talkative and things. We're gonna talk to him later, but there's something wrong. He didn't make no, yes, something was definitely wrong. Okay. The Scots, the Scott men are very articulate, right? His dad, very articulate. Daddy Scott and Uncle Rick, those are some professional men. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I agree. Anyway, which one is the oldest? I don't know. Anyway, Daddy Scott was fit to be tied the entire time Uncle Rick was talking, but he stood off in the side and just let him do his thing. But he was just rolling his eyes and just like, if this don't, okay, he was giving those kind of faces, and Kimmy was like, what is going on? Anyway, that's basically how that scene gets cut. Y'all know they just kept going back and forth between the scenes because Destiny's scene was so heavy. There was a lot of emotion with her. But anyway, now we are at the house. Okay. So Destiny goes to her auntie's house, her mother's sister's house, and it is her, it is Alan, it is Paula, and it is Misha. So she's with three of her siblings and herself, four in total. And they are sitting on the couch. And you can tell that the other siblings, they didn't know what to expect. So they kind of just were like, just kind of open to whatever was coming. Whereas Destiny was nervous as fuck. She is sitting there, she's dabbing her eyes, she's trying not to cry. They're hugging her. This was all real. This was not fake either. This was something where you could just see she had a load on her because she says in confessional, I wrestled with bringing this to TV. I wrestled with it. It embarrasses me sometimes. I have to remember that even though she's my mother and I love her, I'm not her, right? I'm not her. I'm an extension of her, but I'm not her. And I have to tell myself that all the time. That's the reason why I'm in therapy. That's the reason why I do this. And this is important because of what's about to happen next. But she's the one that has the most trepidation, I guess is the best way to say it. While the other three are kind of just like, yeah, we just want to see. And Paula is just ready for whatever it is, right? But they hear the car pull up. They hear the car pull up. And you could see Destiny just like, like she almost has an anxiety attack, right? And they're just like, okay, well, what's going to happen? And then from a window, the camera actually zooms in out of a window to what's happening in the driveway. And that's when you see like the sister, Rhonda's sister, get out the car, and maybe like her daughters, I think that would have been Destiny's cousins, get out of the car. And then you see this woman who, and I'm not saying this to be funny or cruel, but she was just bones. She was just a skeleton with a wig and a pair of glasses on. And she gets out the car. And I don't know how old Rhonda is, but I'm sure that she is aged far beyond her actual, biological age. But when she gets out of the car, you just see this tall woman. She's standing erect. She's not slunched over or anything. And she got on these little stretch pants, baby. And she moving like this. Whatever stereotype or shit you see on TV, that was that. You know what I'm saying? But she's like moving like this, and she coming into the house. And the cousins part, they go one way. And Rhonda and her sister go and sit on the couch. Rhonda and her sister sit on the couch, and her sister sits beside Rhonda, and she never takes a smile off of her face. Do you understand the type of hand holding that went into this scene? She sits there with her and she lets her get it out. Whatever you have to say, I'm not going to stop you from saying it. I just want you to know you're okay. And she just smiles the whole time. And the smile isn't just for for Rhonda. It's also for the kids, the adult children that are sitting over there watching, because she needs them to know I'm okay. So I need y'all to be okay. Right? Anyway, when Rhonda walks in the house, it takes Destiny's breath away. Destiny in particular, because she looks at her and you can see Destiny, there's something inside of Destiny that turns off. She has to disconnect from what she's looking at. So she looks at her when she comes in and she's like, she's sitting on the couch. Rhonda's really coming in. She's super tall. She sees them, but she doesn't see them because she got to protect herself too. For everything that people say about people that are addicts or whatever, Rhonda's in her right mind to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, she knows her kids are there. She was speaking sentences. You know what I'm saying? She got it. So she walks and she just heads to the couch. She plops down and Destiny is like, and then in confessional, Destiny said, I've never seen her this thin. I've never seen her like this. She's always been a very tall and statuesque woman, but I've never seen her this thin. So it's giving you the impression that she may be sick, right? Sicker, right? So I'm sorry, I was reading comments. So when Destiny, when she sits there, Destiny is smiling at her and she says hi. They say hi to each other. And Destiny says, this is your daughter, Paula, because they've never met before. And Destiny's mom says, hi, like, yeah, I know who it is. Hi. Oh, you look just like me. You look just like me. And you could tell they look alike from pictures, because they did show pictures of Destiny's mother when she was healthy. And Paula never takes a smile off her face. She's like, yeah, I can see it. I can see. I always wondered, she had told this to the group before, I always wondered what I look like. I always wonder who I look like, right? And she says, I see it now. And Destiny's mother says, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say to you. You're my child and I haven't seen you in for whatever, many years, right? Paula could be in her late 20s, maybe mid to late 20s, early 30s. And she said, I don't know what to say to you, which is heartbreaking, right? But at the same time, this is so raw and so fucking real. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain because, again, people put so much stereotypes on people. And for this woman to be able to just say, I see you, you're mine, I know you're mine. You look the way I used to look, because shit got to be going through her head too. And I don't know what to say to you except for hello. And then she makes the conversation. She said, your daddy died the other day. You look kind of like your dad too. He did. He died the other day. And that's when Paula's face is like, Paula's like, what? What? But at the same time, she doesn't, that's just going to come out. That's just what it is. Destiny swallows hard. In confessional, she was like, damn, can she be a little softer? Where's the couth? There is no couth. There is no softer. This is it. This is what you came to see. And even though I know Destiny couldn't hear everything the way I heard it or any of y'all heard it, because you're going in with expectations. And when they don't meet your expectations, everything crumbles. Everything crumbles. But she really was saying, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here in front of my children, even if she couldn't get the words out the way Destiny wanted to hear it in that opening part, right? Anyway, they talk about the last time that Rhonda actually saw Destiny. And Rhonda's like, well, I know you was in a squad car. And Destiny said, yeah, we saw you coming out the trap house. And, we was in a car like, mama. And she said, I wanted to keep all of y'all. I wish I could have kept all of y'all. I was sick. I was bad off, right? So she's telling him that. And she said, I knew that some of you went with my family. So I do believe maybe Alan, maybe living with one of the family members, and maybe Misha, maybe. I'm not for sure, but I think so. Anyway, she said, I wish I could have, but I was sick. And then she said, and this is about as honest as it fucking gets. She said, not having you, giving you away, enabled me to still be out there in them streets and doing whatever I wanted to do. Because now she's thinking, maybe if I would have kept y'all, that may have been what got me clean. But I gave you away, and when I gave you away, that kept me in the streets, and that kept the calling over my body, right? Kept the calling of the drugs over my body. So she's telling them this, and this is really a deep moment. But again, I'm not sure that Destiny is hearing it, because she wants to be, what's the word I'm looking for? She wants to protect the other siblings from hearing and seeing what she thinks she's hearing and seeing, right? But she says that to him. She said, I just didn't have it, and I'm really sorry. I don't even know if she apologized completely. You said that was so raw and so real, but it makes me mad that we're getting this after 9 years. It shouldn't make you mad, because if you think about it, Destiny's life was very fragmented. And she could only give you, if we would have saw this a few years ago, Destiny that wouldn't have been a good meeting. That wouldn't have been a good meeting. I think now Destiny is in a space where she can let her mother be her mother to an extent and get it out. And I think that this is going to be what heals her. Like, this is opening up a lot for her in a way that she's probably never experienced in her life. And good for her. Shout out to Destiny for having one of the realest storylines on TV and for opening up and being vulnerable. I'm reading someone's comment, DJ Music, and opening up and being vulnerable when she didn't want to, but she still gave more. Agreed. This, I don't think people understood how hard this was. And I don't think that she was able or capable of doing it before, because she had so much going on. And I also want to point out that when she was at her most vulnerable and at her weakest, the people that she trusted to be there for her was threatening to take her children and do the things, basically have her relive a damn trauma that actually she experienced with her own child. I can't stress that enough. Like, she never said those words, but in hindsight, we can look back at that shit and say, oh my God, that's horrible. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible, right? And that's horrible for anybody who tried it. Anybody who tried it. But anyway, when her mother says that, and Destiny's trying to talk to her a little bit more, and she said, is there anything you want to say to us? And this puts her mother on the defensive when she said, is there anything you want to say to us? And I don't know what she thought she heard or what she thought was expected of her. But she said, no, what do you want me to say? What am I supposed to say? Hi, children, right? She ends up saying, hi, children. And Destiny's just sitting there with a smile on her face, because now she doesn't know what she activated. She don't know what she activated in her mama. And they're kind of sitting there like, oh, because it was just such a turn. And then Destiny said, all right. And now she's mad at Destiny, because if she doesn't know it, she can see it on their face. And it doesn't take much. This is the type of shit that happens with all of us, with some people. You know what I'm saying? There's an energy that is unspoken between you. And once it's activated, it's activated. And it has been activated now. So now Destiny's mama feel like, listen, girl, don't come at me with that emotion shit. I'm already emotional, because this is what she's feeling. And she's telling her, you should have a little more care for me than to put me in this situation. Why would you do this? This is what's going on in her mind. Correct? And Destiny said, what is this about, Rhonda? And she said, listen, you didn't keep your promise to me. And Destiny said, what promise? And she said, you were supposed to get me an apartment. You were supposed to get me an apartment. We talked about it. And Destiny said, you was in the streets again. What was I supposed to do? She said, I don't live in the damn streets. I live in a house. And now Destiny is like, she's using her tools. Destiny realizes, I've activated her. I got to stop. So she says, Destiny first says, whatever. And then she says, whenever. She corrects it. Whenever you in the streets. And then she looks at the camera and she says, can we wrap? Can we wrap? I'm done. I'm done. I didn't make you no promise. I'm done. And she stands up to go because she's like, I can't do it. She knows she's been activated. Now, the siblings who don't have that type of energy with Rhonda, because they don't have that connection, they're sitting there like, what did we just watch? What happened? But that's what I mean when I say this was raw. This was raw. And if you lived any little bit of life, you know what it is. That person doesn't have to be addicted. It just has to be somebody that's, you don't like, you don't care for, you're trying with, that's your family, that you should love, that you should have a better relationship with, and you don't. And a lot of daughters and mothers have this type of energy with each other, especially the oldest daughters. I might have had some relationships like that with my mama. You know what I'm saying? Some back and forth, but you have to get it out. You got to heal yourselves. So anyway, after that, Destiny goes walking out the room. The cameraman tried to follow, and Destiny's mama stood up and said, well, cool. We fucking done then. Okay. I don't have to do with this. You going back there to your daddy. Because like I said, she sees Destiny as being this big wig on TV, and she's giving it all to her father. And she feels like, why him? Why not me? Why don't I deserve it? And I don't think Destiny sees it like that. Destiny said she's entitled, but I don't think she understands that she sees you as taking care of him and not taking care of her. Not so much for entitlement, but because she feels like if you feel like you owe it to him, why not owe it to me too in a different way? Like I'm your mother. Anyway, that's what I saw, but I don't know. Hey everybody, what's up, Erica? Come on in, girl. Her kind of help was asking for an apartment. Asking for an apartment, or maybe she feels, because you have to understand, she might not feel deserving all of the time. In her day, she might think everything that comes to me, I deserve. You know what I'm saying? Any bad thing that happens to me, I deserve. But she could also feel in moments like, why doesn't Destiny take care of me? Why didn't she bring me to Huntsville and take care of me? She could feel that way. And Destiny could feel like, well, shit, you abandoned me. And that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a person who feels, both of them feel abandoned by each other, Anyway, Destiny goes out to the porch because she wants to leave, but production tells her, you sit your ass right there, child. We ain't done. We ain't done. You going outside. And she goes outside and she's talking to Misha, and she's like, I know you haven't seen that side of her and blah, blah, blah. And really, Misha probably wants to say, I don't know what happened between both of y'all, but she can't get it out. You know what I'm saying? Because for as much as Destiny wants to drop everything on her mama's lap, her mama was reacting to a spirit, to an energy that she saw in Destiny too. And right now they just didn't see that they activated it in each other. So Misha's just sitting out there being a sounding board for Destiny, right? And then Destiny's brother, no, not Destiny's brother. Then you hear Destiny's mother sing in the house. And even though she don't have it like that no more, you can definitely tell that back in the day, that lady brought the thunder. You hear me? Her voice, there was a quality to her voice that you could tell her mama knew how to sing her ass off. Okay. And she started singing a gospel song to Paula, the one that looked most like her. Paula stayed in the house with the mother, and they're singing. together. And Destiny leans against the couch or against the wall. She's standing up. She's leaning against the brick wall outside of the house. And she says, this just reminds me of who this woman had everything. She was beautiful. She used to sing. She used to sing to me when I was a kid. And those are the things that I still hold in my memory. Right. And so she's like, she used to be that. She used to be different. She used to be healthy. And you just have to keep reminding yourself of that. She used to be healthy. She's sick now. Right. And then the brother Alan comes out and he thanks Destiny for getting them all together. And, he's like, she's in there singing. She said, yeah, I heard, you know what I'm saying? So they talk a little bit. And then the cameraman said, listen, we got to get a scene with just you and your mama. If you want to leave, you got to say goodbye to her. And they get all the other kids, wherever they go. And Destiny's mom sits down in the chair that Misha was sitting in. And Destiny said, Destiny said, I'm sorry for that interaction. When we get together, our interactions is always rah, rah. And the mama cuts her off. And she said, it's not me. It's you. You bring that nasty ass energy in here to me. And Destiny said, okay. And I just want to say, but mama wasn't finished yet. And she said, and your daddy crazy, okay? Don't get me started about that crazy ass motherfucker. And I'm sure that Destiny's daddy and her mama had a pretty crazy history. You know what I'm saying? We know that. But they're both older now. They've both lived some journeys. There's things that you forgive. But her mama's mind is still where whatever was going on between her and her daddy. So she said, bottom line is the fact that you think it's you and your daddy. You and your daddy. You think your daddy's so good. Destiny said, we're talking about me right now. Let's just focus on you and me. And she said, yeah, let's just focus on you and me, right? She got a thing about Destiny taking care of her daddy and not taking care of her. That's all there is to it. Anyway, Destiny says, I love you. I love you no matter what. And she bends down to kiss her on the cheek. And Rhonda does not return the affection. She doesn't, lean her cheek down so she can kiss her. She doesn't kiss her back. What she does do is get up and say, don't fuck with me no more. If I die, don't come back. And Destiny shakes her head but you can tell that's the type of stuff. It breaks you, right? So Destiny's trying to keep it together. She's broken though. She opens up the door. Her mama goes inside and that's the last of it. Destiny was trying to get her to say, I brought your daughter. I brought your daughter, Paula. I know you brought Paula. We was in the house singing. Basically, you don't take no credit. Don't take no credit for anything that happened here today. Okay? And she wants Destiny to hurt because she feels Destiny hurt her. And that's why I said that her sister's sitting there smiling the whole time to keep everybody like, let's just stay here. Let's stay in a good place. That was so intense and meaningful because I knew what that was. I knew what that was to try to keep everybody okay and keep everybody's energy in a certain way. The mother is still real bitter toward Destiny's father for sure. I mean, it's just little things like Destiny saying, we don't think about it like this, but this woman is alive and well. She's walking around. She goes out. She's facing the public every single day, whether Destiny brought her on the show or not. She walks the streets. She knows people, right? And people are talking to her. Oh, your daughter has a store called Madani, right? Named after her grandmother and her dad. She's feeling something. Jealousy, yes. My daughter hates me. Yes, there's a lot of things that's going on, even if they're not true. Even if they're not true, she feels like you give him way more credit. You shouldn't. Okay. But yeah, it was pretty sad. It was pretty sad. But at the same time, I just want to say kudos to Destiny. That is something not a lot of people can do. It took a lot of bravery. It took a lot of everything. She's probably still dying and coming back to life right now. If she has an opportunity to go back and watch it. You know what I'm saying? And she's going to pick little things up in that scene and everything that because that's going to be there forever. But she's going to pick little things up as she go along in life. And even after your mother goes away, you know what I'm saying, goes to the other side, you think about your mama every day. Every day. It does not matter whether they are here walking on earth or they are gone. You think about them every single solitary day. There's a lesson that comes to you every day. So even though Destiny has picked up a lot of mama figures throughout the years, the one that brought her in this world is someone she's going to think about every day. And I really am impressed with how she got to here and decided to bring her story to the show. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I hope that she helped a whole lot of people who might have shame or embarrassment or still dealing with trauma from it, because it's a big deal. It just is. Anyway, let's move on to Daddy Scott's, because I told y'all that Kimmy is going to have some moments that she prayed for. I'm sure she has prayed for many a moment. God, give me the answer about Maurice. And when I tell y'all Daddy Scott gave her the answer, I mean it, okay? So Tisha and Kimmy end up meeting with Daddy Scott to ask him what's going on. Why are you so pissed? We can read your energy, sir. What went down? And he said it's family business. I can't share family business, right? And Tisha and Kimmy are like, we're family. What's going on with you? We're family. You can tell us. I mean, what are you doing, sir? Daddy Scott says, no, I don't want to put words out there that I can't take back. Pop. I don't want to put words out there that I can't take back. Kimmy goes like, and you can just see it on her face. At this point, she's like, wait a minute. Who the fuck did I marry? Because he says words that he can't take back every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? So now Kimmy's having a completely different conversation with Daddy Scott than what Tisha's hearing and saying. And Tisha's getting popped too, because Tisha at one point is just sitting there looking completely like fogged out, like, oh my God. But they are hearing things from this man about the men they are married to, his sons, that is making them think, oh my God. Yes, Mo Better. You got to go back and listen, child. I talked about that. Sure did. Sure did. But yes, so when he says sometimes you say words that you can't undo. And I'm real careful not to say words that I can't undo. And this lays Kimmy's ass out, because she begs Maurice to stop saying words that he can't undo all the time, right? Cuts her to her soul. Like I said, it's the prayer you got. It's a prayer that you've been asking for. Because if you want to listen to Daddy Scott, he would tell your ass to get up and get out. Okay? What are you staying around for? Get up out there, because I would. Anyway, Daddy Scott starts talking about what, how the man he used to be and what landed him in prison. He was, working, getting a non-paycheck from the federal government. The federal government, I think he said. White collar crime for I don't know how many years, okay? But I had a chance to sit my ass down and think about some stuff. And then he said, I have learned through my own children about the type of man I used to be and why they thought the way they thought of me. Take the poll at the top of the chat, because he said, sometimes Your job, what you try to do for money, can be the other woman. And this is when Tisha's gulping hard because now she's trying to stuff her titties back into her little shirt and stuff. And she's just sitting there like, what is happening? What is happening? Oh my God, what do I do? Girl, whatever meeting they thought they was going to have with Daddy Scott, he gave them something completely different, baby. They weren't expecting that shit at all. We was trying to talk about you, not to get smacked in the back end, okay? But he ended up saying, my son done taught me some things, and my son is still out here doing some raggedy shit. Basically, he works all day. He doesn't understand the importance of his family. The family is the jewel. You working all day is gonna get your ass hurt, and you should know that you're gonna lose everything, and you should know that because you taught it to me, is what Daddy Scott says. Daddy Scott said, I was in them streets so tough, I didn't really think about them kids the way I should have. I didn't teach them the lessons that I should have taught them. And this is important because when we see how happy Marceau is to see Uncle Rick, and then Tisha gives him a compliment and says, I see you growing up and doing something similar, or not growing up, but when you get into your retirement years, Marceau, I see you doing something similar to what Uncle Rick did, building, teaching other people a trade, how to build. And Marceau said, yeah, you're right. This is a man, Uncle Rick is the daddy they look up to. Uncle Rick is the man they probably, they're more fond of in memory than of their actual father, because he wasn't around all the time, right? They said they both did things that we admired. They both taught us some skills, but Uncle Rick was the one who really, this is a trade you should get into. Anyway, Daddy Scott said when he went to prison, his sons didn't even write him. They didn't write him. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't answer them damn collect phone calls. They didn't do shit. And, that's what makes the time inside go by a little faster. And Tisha's still sitting there, not even looking at the man. She's sitting like looking just straight ahead. And there's something that's spinning in Tisha's mind and in Kimmy's and in both of them, right? But Daddy Scott said that he ended up having the guts, because you got to have guts, to ask his son, why didn't you write me? Why didn't y'all visit me? Why didn't you whatever when I was in prison, when I was away? And Marceau said, I didn't have shit to say to you. I didn't know you, so I didn't write to you. I didn't know you. I didn't write to you. And Marceau has his daddy's entire face right now. Right now, Marceau is wearing his daddy's face. Okay? I'm just saying. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Tisha's like, uh-huh. And then in her confessional, she's like, I try to tell Marceau all the time that he needs to slow down and be a part of the family. Girl, we've been watching the show. We've seen you have this conversation. And now you're in a place where you're trying to figure things out. You're in a new journey with you having this real estate office and Marceau building homes. But this is interesting that this is what ended up coming out of a conversation that was supposed to be about Daddy Scott and his brother, Uncle Rick. The way that shit turned on both of y'all was absolutely fascinating to me. But anyway, it continues. Because Daddy Scott said, I live vicariously through my grandsons now. I am proud of my family. I love my family. I love my sons, but I am most proud of my grandchildren and who they are. Watching them boys graduate, going off to college, that did something to me inside my soul, right? He's having this conversation and Kimmy goes, did your father work a lot? He said, are you talking about Genesis the first? Because apparently Genesis the first did the same thing. It's being passed down, right? And he's trying to explain to them, this is the man you should be to your family, to your wife, to your children. And Kimmy is gulping. And do you have a chance to talk to your kids about this? Do you talk to Marceau and Maurice? He said when they want to hear it, I talk to them. I don't always get a chance because that's not where they're at. That's not what they're on. And she's like, oh, because the person that's showing up in this scene as their father is not a person that you would think would raise a monster like Maurice. And that's all there is to it. But Kimmy was like, I love you. I love spending time with you, Daddy Scott. And Daddy Scott needed to hear that. He said, you do? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe he doesn't feel appreciated. You do? She said, I do. Both her and Tisha. We was like, oh my God, we love coming and listening to you talk about X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. You always have something to offer. And he said, that makes me happy because he doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he needs from his sons, he's not getting it. And whatever y'all need from his sons, you're not getting it. So for him, he's saying, I understand now, not always. Because Kimmy said, well, when did you come to this realization? He said, after I fucked my life up. Then I figured it out. But I had a lot of fuck ups before we got there. And he said that exactly the way I'm saying it to you. Okay? They actually bleep it out on the show. But he said, I didn't always walk this walk. I screwed a whole bunch of shit up. I messed a whole lot of people's lives up before I got here. But I'm here now. And now I'm trying to walk the right walk. And even if that means I don't tell y'all what's going on between me and my brother, if there's an opportunity for us to fix it, it'll never get fixed if I talk about it on TV. So I'm smart enough to know that. Anyway, that was how it ended, y'all. That was the show. That was the show. It was a dope show. I think production did a great job. I think production did a great job of making sure that Miss Rhonda had her dignity. I do want to ask you, I told y'all to take the poll at the top of the chat. So now I'm going to read those poll results, baby. Hold on. Let's get those poll results up. I know I saw Miss Jackie in the chat, child. Jackie is one of my members. I'm going to give her shout out in just a second. Hold on. Okay. So I asked you guys, Crown versus Crown. Should Marceau have written his father while he was in prison? 58% of y'all said, hell no. Marceau doesn't owe that man that, okay? If he wanted to be a daddy, he would have been a daddy growing up. Y'all make me laugh. 42% of y'all said Marceau is doing the same exact thing his dad did, whether he went to prison or not. So he should have a little more compassion, okay? I thought that was funny. Anyway, cool. Y'all know I also do the scene snatcher. Hold on. Wrong way. Here we go. The scene snatcher for this episode. I'm giving it to both Paula and to her mother, Rhonda. It's going to be a duo scene snatcher because Paula making the decision to meet her mother for the first time on television is absolutely huge. The fact that that woman looked exactly like Rhonda when she was a kid and said, I'm going to see, okay, was huge. And I also want to give it to Rhonda because Destiny had said earlier that, you know, she tries not to have a whole lot of expectations for her. She doesn't know how she's going to show up, but she did try. You know what I'm saying? She came into that scene, and I think that we couldn't begin to understand how overwhelming it must have been for her to see those babies sitting across from her. So her being able to do that and still speak, you know what I'm saying? And still speak is a lot. Even saying you look just like me, and I didn't want to give y'all away. That took a lot. So I'm giving them the scene snatcher. Okay, I think that they did the best job, but Paula in particular. I'm sure everybody walked away with a whole lot of feelings. I'm sure everybody walked away with a whole lot of feelings. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you. I really wrestled with how to bring you guys this episode because y'all know it was real heavy, but I wanted to get it out there. I did want to get it out there. Anyway, I saw Jackie Green in this doggone chat a little earlier. She is my one of my members. Let me see if I can find her because I want to say hello. Here we go. Here we go. Miss Jackie Green. Thank you, girl. You brought the seeded watermelon to the cookout. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm about to grab some. Anyway, I'd always like to say hello to my members. And if you would like to become one, please do by clicking that link at the top of the chat. And y'all know I appreciate every single one of y'all for supporting me. It is a pleasure. It is a real pleasure to be able to share my opinion with you guys and tell y'all what I think. And I enjoy reading your opinions too. I'm not always right, baby. Hell, and not even all the time, you know what I'm saying? But it still feels good to be able to give a perspective and then, you know, hear what you guys have to say and be able to view it from a different point of view, a different way. And I do appreciate the newbies who showed up because I don't think I've ever seen you, DJ Music Man, but I appreciate you coming through today and hanging out with me. And I've seen some other newbies too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to thank you to all the cousins who come all the time because y'all know I love y'all as well. You guys are a big deal. You help my channel grow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, of course, thank you to my sister, Miss Clone in the house, for moderating. Okay. Anyway, love y'all. Love every single one of y'all. We are family, not just on this channel. But you know what I'm saying? In real life, we cousins too. In real life, we cousins. And we all have more shared experiences than different. And sometimes, you know, we just got to bring it on home because we got enough shit that's on our back. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. Hit the like button, share the video, please. And thank you. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. Become a subscriber if you are not already. And thank you to all of my beautiful new cousins. Okay. Until the next time, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.